Hi Math 2. Tuesday's homework is similar to yesterday's where we are still completing the square. This time the only difference is we have a number in front of x squared, and that does change things. So we do know that we're going to still group together the first two terms in the equation, and I'm going to pull a 2 out of both of those. So I'm going to divide both of these by 2. That'll come back in a moment. And so we just have x squared minus 8 divided by 2 is 4x. We have our blank, and I'm still going to put this plus 4 in the back and fill in that c value. So similar to yesterday, we take b and we divide it by 2 and then square it to fill in that hole. So b is -4, -4 divided by 2, -2. -2 squared is a +4. Now I'm going to add a 4 in there. However, before we would just normally add on this +4 back here, but you don't want to do that this time. What we need to do is figure out that the 2 out front affects that number in the back. We have to multiply these together. So 2 times 4 is 8. And so since we're technically adding 8 here, we have to subtract 8 in the back. So we have 2. We're going to write that as a perfect square. And then 4 minus 8 is a -4. So when we simplify that perfect square, remember we have x plus or minus a number. To get that number that goes in that second blank here, we're just going to do b divided by 2. We don't need to square it this time. So -4 divided by 2 is a -2 squared. And then we're just going to solve this equation for x. So to do that, we're first going to add 4 to both sides. We want to get what's in parentheses alone. So we have 2 times x minus 2 squared equals 4. Divide both sides by 2. So then we have x minus 2 squared equals 2. Now, this should be, again, a reminder from other problems, but when we have something squared, the opposite of squaring it is square rooting it. So really, what we have is x minus 2, the square and the square root cancel out, equals the positive or negative answer to the square root of 2. And we can just simplify it like that. Very last step, we would add 2 to both sides. And I'm going to write in this next box, but again, if you run out of room, please just write on a separate sheet of paper and staple it to your homework. So we have x is equal to the positive version of square root of 2 plus 2 and the negative version of square root of 2 plus 2. So this would be your answer. These are your x-intercepts. Just a reminder, normally, if we could, we would simplify that radical. But in this problem, the square root of 2, you can't simplify that. So we're just going to leave it alone. Make sure if you have any questions, you let your teacher know. Otherwise, go ahead and flip to the back of your homework assignment and answer the 3 practice problems that are set up just like this one.